G'day guys, welcome to Man Cave Tuesday. Hope you all had a ripper week. So what do we got going on in this video tonight? I'll show you how I light the fire here in the man cave. Bloody soldering. Winner winner, chicken dinner. Go for a walk and I even try and cross that bloody pipe. Kimmyruss Adventures gives the old banana pancakes a try with a twist. And it's time to give the DR650 Tool Kit a once over. Alright, let's get lighting this fire. Rightio guys, so from carrying on from last week and building a fire out in the bush, I mentioned about how I do a tower system in this fire and it's all about getting that oxygen in there. So I thought, why not? Let's bloody have a bit of fun. So what I normally use here is fat wood to start it up. So I've talked about this stuff before. Fat wood is basically from pine trees and it's right down at the base of the tree, right in the center. When they cut them down, this is what's in the center, and it's just laden with sap. So if we get out a lighter and I just do that, actually I'll come up close. Doesn't take much to get one of these going. There you go, that's pretty much it. That'll just keep going. Well, there you go. No bullshit here. Do that, whack that in there. Now with my fire in here, I never, when it's over, I never fully empty all the what do you call it? All the ash. Kind of like you leave a bit of bloody ash in there. It makes building the fire again a lot better because it retains the heat. It gets that heat in there. As per usual, guys, no expert. This is just, you know, my own experiences. Go like that. So that's all we do there for the. So that's the fire lighter. Obviously, you could use these things, which is these brilliant little bloody single packed ones. I don't know how long these have been out. I reckon only most probably a couple of years. But I thought they're brilliant. I know some people say, oh, what about your cotton wool and your, hang on. Let me get some kindling. The cotton wool and Vaseline. Brilliant, I love that. But sometimes these other ones, they cost like 20 cents each. I know the Vaseline and the cotton wool would, you know, it's most probably a couple of cents each. And I like that from the DIY purpose. But sometimes convenience, those redhead things, you just bloody grab them, chuck them in your pack and away you go if you haven't got those other ones made up. So now all I do is just build a little tower, a bit like the Jenga blocks. Simply like that. That's enough for that, and then I'll move on to some bigger ones, so just a bit thicker ones. And that's it, guys. I can walk away and buddy start doing other bits and pieces, and then this thing will just start roaring away. So we'll watch a bit of fast action on it. Like me a bit of bloody steam. Righto, so by about now what I'd be doing is just wriggling this all around now, make a bit of room up the top. Then grab a couple of bigger blocks, chuck that in. And away we go. And then I just start putting in the red gum and the other bloody wood. So there you go, guys, that's how I get the fire going in the man cave. Okay guys, I've got to say a big thank you to everybody that with the soldering on that last video. all the comments explaining how to do it. I had emails, I had people actually do, I had plenty of people do videos just showing me how to do it. Now everybody has their own, there's little icks and bits and how they do it, you know, whether they use the flux stuff. But there was a definite way that everybody said what you need to do to make this work. So I'm going to bring you down here because the lighting's a bit better to show you some of those tips. Rightio, number one tip, make sure whatever wire you are deciding on bloody soldering, make sure, see how it's nice and shiny like that? That's shiny because I only just cut this wire, and that's showing you nice fresh wire that hasn't oxidated or what do you call it, just dirtied up. So make sure your two wires that you're going to join are nice and shiny like that in them up. The second thing is clean the tip of your soldering iron. So see how mine's all like black and crappy? Clean it up. Now, depending on how much you use yours, you can use sandpaper just to clean that up, or a file or something like that. Just lightly get that dirty stuff off there so it's nice and shiny. If you're regularly using it, I notice some people, they just have the wet sponge that they just give it a bit of a clean up like that. Alright, so that's the two tips. The next thing, when we go to solder, we're actually going to put a pool of solder on the soldering iron. Then we'll put that iron with that pool of solder onto the wire. And as that wire heats up, now this is where it gets all a bit tricky. A lot of the videos, they weren't close up and stuff like that. And from what I could see, no one heated up the wire first before putting, so the wire that you're going to, nobody heated that up for a little bit, then put the solder on there and then put it on. They basically put the solder on there, and everybody that did this, they put the solder on there and then put it directly to the wires, and then the solder just seemed to magically get sucked in and go all the way around it. So I haven't tried this. I wanted to do this first time with you guys. So that's what I'll be doing, is putting you heard what I said. Cool, let's get into it. So same as before, this is still the original piece. I don't know how many times I've friggin' done this now, but I'm going to just twist these. Oh, that was the other thing, everybody has their own different way of, the professionals don't do it like that. They put them together and twist them so that they're just a parallel, not like that. They get joined like that, and that gets twisted around. But they were very good enough to do it the way that I was doing it. As for now I've got this thing, the thing's beeping away there, it's going to start heating up. I don't have any control over how hot. That's just going to get to a heat, and that's what it's going to stay at. So I'm just going to do that like I was doing before. The dry joint or thing, that's more, what were they saying? Everybody seemed to say that's more when, I think it's more circuitry boards and stuff, where you don't have a mechanical. That's a mechanical join where the two wires are actually joined together, and what we're doing is we're putting a coating of solder over it. I say because it makes it a stronger joint, which it does, but a lot of people are saying that it protects those wires from corroding, like moisture getting in there and stuff like that. So it puts a coating, same as putting tape around it, but it obviously does a better job, or the shrink wrap or whatever. You would still put the shrink wrap and the stuff over the soldered bit, I would say. There's 101 videos on how to solder, so if you really want to do that, go and check those ones out. If you want to have a bit of a laugh, watch me. Alright, that's now stopped. Bloody hell, guys, I just forgot to clean that before I heated it up. But anyway, you can see, hopefully, that's now nice and shiny. So I've got shiny wires and a shiny soldering iron. Now, apparently, I've got to put a pool of solder on here. Oh, I don't know how much. Seemed like they were putting a whole lot more on there, but I'll just whack that like that. And now I should be able to just join that on there, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, it's kind of like doing something. Should have my glasses on. Jesus. Oh, I'm melting the stuff, so I don't think I should have... Oh, look at that! Wow! That worked a treat, didn't it? Get that out. Yeah, that did work a treat. It went all the way around, because I know they said sometimes if you don't do it quite right, it won't go all the way around it. Look at that. Now, obviously, I've burnt this stuff, so that's a what do you call it? Bloody a young fella's bloody job there, an apprentice job. But bloody hell,
How's that, guys? Call me bloody crazy. Hand me a Jimmy. Crack her open because I've earned that one. Oh, have I done it right? I reckon I've done it right. Apart from the way I twist it and whatever, but there you go. So it does work. You can solder. Even a dickhead like me can eventually get it if enough people constantly tell me how to do it over and over and over. Send me videos and say, Mark, this is how you do it. And if I follow it and do as they say, I'll actually be able to do it. So there you go. So what are the tips that we learn? Clean wires. Clean tip on the soldering iron. Put a pool of solder on top of that soldering iron. So that was an interesting thing, because my old soldering iron had just the thin proddy one, so I don't know how you get a pool of thing. So use that flat spade one like that, and you'll be able to stick a nice big blob of solder on there. I might turn that off before I burn myself. So you don't have to preheat the wires when you've got that. So once you've got that pool on, as you saw, stick it underneath the wires, let that heat up a bit, and then you can kind of like tell, and then put the on top of it, and it goes zoop like it did. Hopefully it comes out in the video. I'm impressed with myself. Bloody crazy. Hope I did good, guys. Righto, back to the man cave. Actually, guys, I did want to touch those that don't want to bloody solder and they think that they should start soldering, you know, when they're tinkering around on their motorbikes or cars or whatever, you know, just shitty type bloody stuff. Because I know Max, Harry, all the wiring stuff that I've done on them, they've got extensive bloody bits and pieces on there. None of that stuff on those bikes are soldered. Oh, with the exception of the blinker, which I will tell you is still working, that blinker on the back of the DR650. That's still working. That's the only bit that I've soldered on there. All the rest of it is wires twisted, wrapped with duct tape. That's it. And they work. And you know what? The bloody bullshit I put Max through. So yeah, you can still mechanically twist the wires, wrap them with whatever to protect those wires, and hey presto, you're sweet, good to go. If you want to do the soldering, step up your game. That's how you do it. Alright, that's it. Rightio guys, today is the day that I challenge myself to get across that gas pipe, or whatever the hell that bloody pipe is. So I can't remember the last time I did it. I reckon it's supposed to be 12 months. It's got to be 12 months. I've actually got my runners on. 6 months since I've most probably had runners on. I live in bloody boots, in work boots. I tell you what, when you put your boots, the runners on, man, it's like, I don't know, there's just no weight. Your legs are kind of like going up and down. Alright, so here is the pipe. Let's just give you an idea. So as you can see, it's low down, but when you come down here, So there's a fair height. I mean, if I was to fall, I'm not going to hurt. Well, I'm not going to die. I should be able to land okay. Hopefully not break a hip. Alright, so what I'll do is I won't bother. Actually, no, I will start up here. Give me a bit of a practice. I'm hoping that the runners are gonna get all the bloody water off. Oh, see, I already feel wonky. Oh, come on. Alright, so what I've got to do, I'll get out around this. I've got to stop concentrating on you guys, clear my head, because I've done this so many times. Clear my head and concentrate on this pipe. So, turn you guys around and hopefully I can keep you guys steady. Over hands with the camera. As you can see, I've got a tree to hold here. Now this is the tricky bit. This is the point of no return. Oh, alright, but now see, I've grabbed hold of this tree. Now to let go of it's hard. Oh shit. How do we do this, guys? Alright, here we go. Here. Oh, come on. Just let go from. Oh, and then I shake like shit. Righto, come on. I'm next to the tree. And then I'm wobbling. Come on, Mark, you can do. Stop looking down. Clear the head. Forget the guys there. Just concentrate on this bloody pipe. Oh, I feel like I could do it if I didn't have you guys there. And I'm thinking about this bloody camera. Alright, keep the momentum going. Oh, yep. Oh, shit, Jesus. Bloody hell. Oh. I nearly had that. I could do that. I could do it. I know I can do it. Just bloody buggerising around with you guys. Anyway, there you go. That's my challenge. Well, next time I'll make it all the way across. Back to the man cave. Well, this is pretty interesting, guys. Can you see behind me? Single track. Dual track.
Rightio guys, I'm just going to give a shout out to kimmyruss Adventures. They did a video response to the egg and banana pancake that I did in the motorcycle camp cooking video on that. And so they've put together, Kimmy does the cooking of the banana bloody and egg pancake with her own special little touch, which I think's awesome. And it's given me a bit of an idea, which I'll tell you about after I show you a little snippet. You'll see Russ. Russ is a bit of a crazy bastard. He's bloody crazier than me. All right, here it is.
G'day guys, kimmyruss Adventures here again, aren't we?
Hi.
We've got a special little surprise for you today, haven't we, babe?
We have.
Yes, we've got a cooking segment. Kim's cooking segment, this one, isn't it?
Yep.
And the reason why we're doing this cooking segment is because an idiot on YouTube, this idiot.
Well, there you go, guys. So that is pancakes made out of an egg and a banana. It doesn't get any more bloody simple than that. As you saw, it worked. It's delicious. That's it. So even if you don't take this out with you on your next bloody motorcycle trip, give it a shot in the backyard, in your man cave, in the kitchen. Kick the missus out, bloody jump in there and say, this idiot on YouTube said to give this a shot.
Yeah, well, I didn't call him an idiot. He called himself an idiot. Now, that is Mark Victor. He does a man cave Tuesday, every Tuesday, but that wasn't Man Cave Tuesday. That was, what was it, babe? His camp cooking.
Yep.
Yeah, shit easy camp cooking he used to call it, but he doesn't call it that no more. See? Have a look at this.
Well, there you go, guys. That's a bit of a snippet of it. It's well worth a watch. I think it's 7 minutes. And the idea that Kim did with that pancake's given me a bit of an idea. Link is in the description to that video. Righto, back to the man cave.
Rightio guys, so now what I want to do is roughly once a year I like to pull all the tools out of the DR650, lay them out, go through them all, make sure everything's still in good nick, and then put it all back together, put it back in, and she's right for another year. Sometimes I'll either take something out or put something in. I've got a few little additions that I want to do, so let's go into the man cave and check it out. Rightio, so what I've done is I've laid out all my tools on my little pillow slip that goes in my tool tube. It's the first thing that's in there. I grab that out, lay it on the ground wherever I am, and then as I pull the tools out, it gets sat on there. It's white, it just, you can see everything. You don't end up leaving a bloody tool behind on under a leaf or something like that. So I'll just look through everything, make sure everything's still looking fine. You know, the duct tape's, you know, still in good condition. My slime's not leaking out everywhere. Puncher kit repairs, make sure that your things aren't all degrading. I know I had one bloke that bought one of these packs because we sell those. He had his sitting on the front fender on the top, so I was having direct sunlight and the rubbing, constant vibration. All the silver just disintegrated. So I always like to check to make sure they're okay like that. They're okay. The glue that's in there, I've wrapped mine in duct tape because what can happen is that thin metal bloody casing that it's in can wear, and then all your glue just bloody leaks out, and then you're totally stuffed. So that's still in good condition, and I should actually put it back in. This doesn't belong, that always goes in the tank bag, but this is part of my kit. My fuel hose is still in good nick. Now I've done a couple of additions to this, and the main thing is to do with this and also my chain breaker, which we had to use for Steve's bike. Now this worked great. It drove out the pin. We were able to pull out the shitty bloody link. I actually had two of them, and this is my other one. We had one of these. We were able to put everything back together, but the very last plate we couldn't get it on enough to then put the little circlip on, and this isn't wide enough to go over the pins to get that last one on. So I thought, Jesus, what am I going to do? Because that's the same for Max. It's the same chain, a 525. I would have had the same problem. Yeah, we tried using the pliers on this to bloody try and get it on. It just wouldn't do the job. So I ended up having to duck home and grab a G-clamp. And I thought, well, a G-clamp would be really good if I could get a small enough one. So me and Nay actually went to Super Cheap Auto, and look at that, got myself a little mini G-clamp. And that, I've already tested it, goes over the chain enough to be able to then push that plate on. Obviously, the thickness of this hits on both of the pins, but to get around from that is you just get basically a screwdriver in between the pins, and then that goes over it and that will push it on, which is what we did with the big G-clamp as well. And that worked a treat, got us up and going. So that is what I'm adding to the toolkit. The other thing that I found, so I have all my sockets and bits and pieces, and I have spanners because sockets don't fit everywhere. There are some places where you can't get a socket on and you need an actual spanner. So these two spanners gets me out of trouble. But the DR650, Steve had the Tenere 660, all totally different. Like, we couldn't get his back wheel off because that's my rear, that's my front, it's also tyre irons as well. These were the wrong sizes for his bike. what I did was actually, when I came back, I grabbed a shifter. Not this one. This one's a little one. I'm going to add this to the collection if I can get it in there. But the shifter, doing it on his was actually stripping his, so we couldn't do it. And Steve obviously it was just too tight. His rear thing was too tight. Thankfully, Ray had the brilliant idea of getting the pliers. We've got this, the big one on. Put some pliers in, jammed it in there, and we were able to loosen the back tire, because the chain was just too loose, so we had to be able to fix the chain and then bring the tire back. And he also had to get it all bloody, what do you call it, to the right. Those little, what the devil do you call that stuff? The tensioning bloody bolts. On the DR650, you just have this little click, 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 click thing. So there's no little having to do the nuts. But he has the nuts ones, and it was in a spot where it was really... Anyway. So, I thought I would add an extra spanner. This is more for other people, that I can help other people out better, not so much for me on the DR650, because what I've got here will get me out of trouble. The other thing that I thought of, and that was this fuel hose. If this isn't long enough to go, if you've got a problem with a hose and you need to replace the hose, or the hose has got a hole in it and it's not long enough, the idea, you would want to then cut the other one, cut the bad section out, but then how the hell do you get that to join it up? So what I've done is, these are just vacuum bloody joiner hoses. So they'll mean that I can join the hoses. Now this is a temporary, because these aren't, I don't know whether they're fuel rated or not, but they would get me out of trouble. So I'm adding those two things to my fuel hose, and hopefully it'll either help me or help somebody else. So there you go, guys. If you've got your toolkit, once a year, get it out, have a look through it, reassess things. I mean, it's a constant bloody changing animal of a thing, I suppose. But there you go. Just thought I'd share that with you.
Rightio guys, I thought I'd do a happy hour up on the roof. Not a bad sunset looking over there. So what we've got is little creatures. Hopefully you can see that. It's a pale ale. Let's pop that open. Whoop. Make sure I put that in my pocket. I don't want it going in my new gutters on the roof. So let's give that a bit of a pour out. That looks, that doesn't look too pale. That actually looks pretty full-bodied, if you ask me. And I know jack shit. Righto. Let's have a swig. That's a pale ale. Oh, yes, it's got a bit of a bite. Not bitter. Spicy. If I was to say spicy, so not sweet, not bitter, spicy. Not too bad, but I'd choose something else, I reckon. So there you go. So, Little Creatures, I think the brewing company in Western Australia. It says on the bottle that it was bottled in various places around Australia under Little Creatures, Lions license. It's, what is it, 5.2% alcohol. There you go. I've been meaning to bloody get up on this roof and do this. I was planning on doing it with Matt, but this doesn't last for very long. It's I don't know, possibly 20 minutes and you get a nice golden hour. Sometimes you get it when it's that real nice pink. Looks bloody brilliant. Get quite a bloody view around here. Anybody looking out their windows looking up at me roof, they're going, what the hell's this dickhead doing? Oh no, the neighbourhood's gone to the shit. There's people drinking on their roofs. Well, there you go. Cheers. Oh, actually, this bottle, as you can see, it's a bit ripped up and whatever. That's because it's a leftover from the Ramble. So whoever on the Ramble had this, had that. Cheers. Thank you very much. I've still got another one down there as well. Rightio. That's it, guys. Back to the man cave. Rightio, guys. I want to do a little update. That the Kamaruka trip that I did, and I took out that Gunya 110. I wanted to see how it would work in the real world, you know, while on the bike. I love the tent. The problem is it's the space available. It just reaffirms the idea of having a two-man tent when you're on a motorbike. It allows you to have a whole lot more room for all your gear, and I did miss that when I was out there. But that tent, I tell you what, I don't know, I haven't been able to find one. I thought they did make a two-man Gunya tent, but I can't seem to find it. So I think if you had a Gunya 2 tent, that might be the enchilada, I suppose. But at this stage, I'll be going back to my Hauqua 2 tent, my very original one. I'd like to update to the new one, but I really like my old one. I like the fact that it's still going, still working, but then there's that extra height in the new one, and I kind of like, anyway, it doesn't matter. So there you go, just give you an update on that. Really enjoyed the Gunya 1 tent, but it is lacking the space. Okay, so another little update. You all most probably saw the off that Alistair had on the big bloody KTM 1090. Jesus, that was scary coming up to that, just seeing him lying there lifeless next to that bike. Luckily we had the head comms on and I could hear that he was talking to me as I was getting up to him. So Alistair is on the mend. He actually pulled a 12-hour bloody shift yesterday, but he's feeling a bit sore after doing that, being on his legs all the time. So yeah, huge amount of bruising and swelling, and it's all down there, you know. It's like crazy. But yeah, he's all right. He'll mend and he'll be straight back on the bike. All right. Rightio, guys, I thought I'd do something a little bit special. A big thank you to the crew guys. The crew guys are on Patreon. They support this channel. This is why I'm pumping out all these bloody videos, is because of them. I've just got the names of the level 3 guys. Hopefully they don't mind me whacking these names up there. All right, I just wanted to do that. Cool. Rightio, so one more update, and that is that I'll be having a video coming out, part of the Biker Bits map series, and it's the Serpent's Run. Me and Alistair go out, do the single track through there, and that's actually when we'd finished doing that and Alistair come off, which you've most probably seen that video. Alright guys, that's Man Cave Tuesday done and dusted for another week. Hope you all enjoyed it. Have a ripple week, and remember, keep on riding, and if you ain't riding, keep on keeping on.